Hello guys, good afternoon, good evening. So I was in a waiting room this morning and there was a magazine and I thought I'll have a look in it, as you do, because you sat there bored out of your skull. And just a second. Now, at least I've got 3 happy cats who just had their dinner. So anyway, so I'm looking in this magazine and there's these the usual fucking bollocks in it about why so many people get depressed during the holiday season. Well, I would have thought that's pretty obvious, the fact that it's utterly banal. And it's the same shit every year. Plus, we have to listen to Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You, which perpetually gets stuck in your fucking head. I might send her a bloody bill for that. Anyway, I find that very depressing. But one of the reasons, basically, that it said was because you're not going to work, and because of that, repressed emotions come up. That was one of the, I think it was number 3 on the list. And I thought to myself, well, that's it. That's just it, isn't it? That's it. Do you know how many people have a job that is in and of itself completely and utterly meaningless? The only reason that job exists is to serve the system, is to keep the system going. The system is a completely irrelevant construct, and it is like that snake that eats his own tail, in a way. I think it's what's it called, Jormanskir. Yes. Because the only reason it's there is to keep us all in a state of consciousness comatosity. Is that even a word? I don't know, but I'm going to use it anyway. Comatosity. Why not? You know, we can just make up our own words, create our own language. We can do as we damn well please, people, and that's a fact. You know, that's why the system is there. It's like the police is there because we're all such bad people and we commit crime all the time. Then actually you'll find that most people are very law-abiding. And that's not just because of a sense of fear and guilt, but it's also because of a sense of decency that most people don't go out to rape, pillage, murder and steal. Some people are actually quite decent and don't want to do that. The people that go out and commit crime are the people that are in charge of the system. They, you know, it's a case of the pot calling the kettle black. That's why we have police, because they're so sinful, they're so evil, they're so black, and they commit all the crime. They rape and murder the children, they destroy nature, they are the thieves. They've stolen things that belong to nobody, because nothing really belongs to anybody. There is no such thing as ownership, it's an illusion. Anyway. But that was there, and I thought, that's it, you see, because when people are not busy being distracted with work hard, pay your taxes. When people are not busy working hard or being subliminally influenced by watching TV or whatever, or getting hammered in the wine bar with their trolley dolly friends, when they stop doing all of that, all these uncomfortable, repressed emotions come up and they cause depression. Because awakening causes a depressed state. Well, yes, of course it does. You're not going to be happy, are you, to find out that everything you believe to be true is a complete and utter lie, and that the system is a prison that you live in. It's designed to keep us trapped here. It lives in our heads. It makes us, you know, as well as because we you know, it's all mind control, isn't it? Then we are, you know, we comply with the system when we believe that it's necessary and that it's real and that it serves a purpose, you know, that it's meaningful. But it's not meaningful at all. and people keep going to jobs that are simply bureaucrats and people that work in offices and all of this type of stuff, and all they're there for is to support the system, and that's it. So yeah, they take a few days off from work and they realise that everything is really shit actually, and I wonder why, and they start thinking, and that's when they start getting depressed. Because yeah, it's all a lie. So then there was a picture on the wall as well of some group of young girls. It was like, oh my god, it was well, it basically, it was all about you know, going to Borneo to volunteer to do what there exactly, I'm not sure. Probably have loads of sex, take drugs, lie on a beach, and then go home and I don't know, something like that. That's what people generally do when they go volunteering in Bali, isn't it? I worked so hard volunteering in Bali. I did so much good that I got chlamydia. Anyway, so there are all these blank-faced social justice warriors that are going to Borneo and to do some volunteering. And I'm thinking, oh my fucking god, there's people that do this on a regular basis. They go all around the world volunteering, you know. And really all they're doing is cleaning up the mess, the perpetual mess, that the corporations and the powers that be perennially make in these countries. In fact, in all the countries around the world. I mean, people are forever volunteering in Africa and the place just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. People are volunteering in Borneo and that ain't getting no better. Nobody's volunteering in Britain, which is kind of teetering on the end of the abyss. There's shitloads of homeless people. There are people starving to death in the streets that have to go to food banks. But nobody's volunteering in Britain. You see, because that's not sexy enough, you see. That's just not sexy and glamorous enough for those blank-faced NPC social justice warriors, you know? I mean, the reason the world needs volunteers, the reason the world needs constant money and effort is because it's fucking fucked up. Utterly, insanely messed up by the forces of darkness. They have done it. And they've used people that are not awake, system drones, to make it happen, you know? That's really what it's all about. It's these people that haven't got a fucking clue and they're not awake and they're not aware, and they're usually NPCs. They're just doing as they're told, and they have these jobs that are just there to prop up the prison, which is the system, telling us all that, oh, you need the police because you're all totally sinful, untrustworthy criminals. And if it weren't for the police, you'd all be running rampage in the street and there would be blood everywhere and woo. It's funny because there was a town in Canada where they didn't have any law enforcement for, I think it was about 2 weeks, and there was less crime. And this turns out to be the case. Every time there's less law enforcement, there is less crime. There is more law enforcement, there is more crime. This is how it works. We need an army because somebody's going to come and invade us. You know, it's like the Cold War was all about that. It was all about fear, and we had entire classroom full of children hiding under their desks in abject terror. You know, with teachers screeching on about how there was going to be a bomb, the Soviets were going to drop a bomb and they were going to kill us all. And it's utter nonsense. Utter nonsense. I wrote some stuff down because, you know. Oh yeah, giving to charity, that's another one that I really wanted to talk about. Everywhere you go, I don't know if you've noticed this, but it's becoming more and more so now. Every time I go to the supermarket and the checkout, it's like, oh, do you want to donate any money to charity? And I'm like, no, I don't. Actually, I don't want to donate any money to charity. In fact, why don't you want to donate some money to me? I'm a charity too, you know. It's utter nonsense. Again, this world is an utter heap of shit. Sorry. This world is an utter heap of shit. And then, oh, you want to donate some money to charity because, you know, the forces of darkness have really fucked this world up, and we need to give them all our money so that they can fuck it up even more. Oh yeah, right. Here's my money. Go on then. Yeah. It's like, oh, there's all these different charities, you know, Oxfam, for example, which got caught abusing children and trafficking children, you know, but they're still going strong and nobody's done a damn thing about it, and they're never going to, of course, you know. And they're always forever asking for money. It's like, oh, do you want to give us some, you know, donation? And it's like, they may as well just say, are you stupid enough to donate money and, I don't know, pay our CEO's wages, which is like £600,000 a fucking year or something ridiculous like that. I mean, it's I'll give something back to the community. I'm like, yeah, okay, well, I'm here, this is my address. Tell the community to come and give something back to me. Oh, I'll be waiting. Aha. Yeah. I mean, it's like a cavernous pit of filth, right? It's all fucking bullshit, people. Because nothing ever seems to get any better, and of course that is because this is a fallen world, and because the forces of darkness are forever meddling, forever manipulate. They are masters of psychological warfare, people. They are masters of this proverbial chessboard. They really are, and all they do is fuck it up. This is why I never give money to charity unless it is for animals, and unless I know that it goes where it's needed. And there's one or two charities in this country that I know are honest, believe it or not. They do exist. Yeah. And then there was, across the road, there was a shop. It's called Iceland in this country. Iceland. Bloody hell. Give him a break. This poor dog and this guy with his dog, and he's going, come on, this dog going, should be the other way around. Imagine that, the dog, you know, with his lead around the guy's neck, going, come on, and the guy's like, fucking asshole. Anyway, yeah, Iceland, you know. This is why mums goes to Iceland, because the food is so toxic that it makes you glow in the dark. Yes, it does. And it was all these ads of these happy people sitting around tables laden with bizarrely huge turkeys. I mean, obese dead turkeys. You wouldn't be able to get them in your oven, really. They'd have to have a really massive oven, or they'd have to slice the bird in half and cook one half first and then cook the other half and then slice it back together again and make it look like a whole bird. And if you think about the lives that these animals have had before they were murdered to be put in that bloody shop. But no, discover the magic of Iceland. Discover the magic of frozen food. It's so good for you. Yes. And of course it was full of people, because now that we've had Christmas and everybody's eaten themselves into a state of apoplexy, they're all heading back to the shops for New Year's Eve. Ooh, yes. Oh man. It's just one of these days. It's I just felt like having a little rant. Hope you don't mind. I dare say all of you feel the same way, you know. I mean, that's it. Yes, that's it. What was it? Somebody said something whilst I was in the waiting room. Somebody said something. Somebody got a bit irate and said, "You treat us like shit." And I went, yeah, I was there, but I was like, yeah, here. But they didn't see or hear me, but the woman said to the guy, she goes, right, now, if you're going to use inappropriate language, we're going to have to ask you to leave. Now this is what they do, isn't it? They wind you up and they wind you up. The system does that on purpose, right? It makes everything really difficult. So like to get from A to B to C to that level, it's all really difficult. A bit like tax, always really like So then by the time you sort of get somewhere, and it's like, you know, you're really irate, because by this point it's like, right, I've tried this, and you're just fucking me around, you're winding me up, you're taking the piss out of me, so you're bound to be angry. Now personally, I don't think that's inappropriate language, you know, in that setting. Say to somebody, look, you're taking the piss out of me. I just think that's calling a spade actually, and nailing the hammer on the head or something, or the nail on the head, sorry, that's that. But no, don't you speak to me like that, ooh. Because that is another one of these little minions that is there to support that utterly useless facade of a system in which we are told we must live to keep us safe and protected and everybody and everything going. It's all bullshit, right? And it's one of these minions, and the guy just got even more angry, so they had to call the security guards, and you know, I didn't see, because then somebody came to get me, so I don't know if they removed him, but he was quite irate, and rightly bloody so. Rightly so, but this is what they do, and this kind of stuff, this is all about repression, because they manipulate you and gaslight you to the extent that you're literally banging your head against the wall with rage and frustration, because you know you've been had, right? You also know you've got no recourse, because yet again the system is up there, it's minions, they're up there, there's some fucking thing you can do really. So you end up really, really angry, but what they're basically telling you is that you don't have the right to be angry. That's wrong, you're out of order, so you repress that, you see. And that's what a lot of people do, they just repress. That's what the whole political correctness agenda was all about. It was like, well, you can't call it that, and you can't call it that, and you can't call it that. Yes, but it is that. Yeah, but you can't call it that. So language has become like really twisty and gaslighty, nonsensey, bollocksy shit. Oh, that's inappropriate. Shit. Oh, that's inappropriate. Oh, shit. Oh, that's inappropriate. Oh, stop it. Anyway, so it's like all about repression, making people feel bad for saying something or feeling something, yeah, rather than saying, well, okay, let's sit down, call it whatever you want to call it, and tell me, why do you feel that way, do you think? And let's examine that. No judgments, no guilt necessary at all. Let's just look at it. Hey, it's here. Let's openly admit it, acknowledge it, and let's work through that and maybe see what we can do with that creatively, right? And say, no, you're bad for saying that. You're bad for feeling that, and it needs to be repressed down there in the subconscious. And of course we all know what it does when it sits there in the subconscious. It runs the fucking show. And so what do? You get volatility, and that is what they want. That's what they want. They want people to be so repressed. They want people to repress all that hate and all that rage and all that sense of I'm so worthless and I hate myself, because you know that's what makes people go out, project it outward rather than acknowledging it inward, and with compassion by heal it and reintegrate themselves, you know, to become the sentinel. No, we're not doing that. No, repress, deny, judge, shame, guilt, fear, hate, rage, repress, and then just go out and take it out on someone else, you know. Makes for great soldiers, you know. The military industrial complex loves that sort of thing. So yeah, hence all the volatility in the world, and I'll bet you any money that ever since all that political correctness, there's a shitload more violence in the world, and there's a shitload more racism, violence, aggressive, volatile racism, rather than the rather almost funny, irreverent type of racism that we used to have here in England in the 70s in shows like Porridge and What's Not, which was set in a prison, and you had a black guy and a white guy, and the black guy used to be very racist towards the white guy, and the white guy used to be very racist towards the black guy, and nobody actually gave a fuck, because it wasn't vicious, it wasn't malevolent, You know, people of different colours and different creeds used to get on quite well in this country. A lot better than they do now. Now all of a sudden everybody's afraid of everybody else. Everybody's policing everybody else, and everybody is afraid of people of a different colour. And you get all these nice middle-class white people on their phones going, "No, well, my neighbour's not the same colour as me and I think he's up to no good, but I can't really say that because that's not politically correct." Ouch, ouch. It's all bullshit, people. It really is, you know. And it's all social engineering, and it's psychological warfare, and it's so multifaceted, and it's so clever, and people are in a comatose state and they can't see it, and they're just going along and they're propping up the system, which is the prison, which is the ultimate distraction. It is made up of an infinite number of distractions, all designed to keep us like this. And yet here we are, waking up and seeing it. Yes, we are seeing it, and we are calling it out for what it is. Yes. And that's surely got to be the beginning of the end for that. Now, I don't know, I think it isn't real, and I think one way or another it will just simply disintegrate. I don't expect everybody's going to wake up. I'm not really going to hang about for that. I know that our true self is very powerful and can do anything. And it's here. Our true selves are here to do something really great, big, magnificent and marvellous. Anyway, I'll call it a day there. Yeah. Do you know, one thing I do really love though is that it's winter. It's the end of December, but there's so many birds singing, you know, and it gladdens my heart. And I just have to say that, because that is one thing that I give thanks for. It's something that makes me feel good, and it gives me a sense of love and grace. Because they sing beautifully, you know, blackbirds sing beautifully. And I've heard some weird sounds of birds as well that I haven't really heard before. And I heard an owl in the night. Yes. Okay, people. Have a lovely weekend. Even though I'll probably see you tomorrow or Sunday, but hey, I'll say it anyway. Toodaloo, chickens.